Now, is this a scene from a post-apocalyptic zombie series like The Walking Dead? Nope. It's a scene of what happens when you have big government in America's biggest cities. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Ogadowski of WeAreChange.org. Luckily, not anywhere near this place in Philadelphia. Hopefully you're not around there as well. Lots and lots of extremely important news to get into today, especially with some of the troubling developments unfolding right now between the United States and Russia. There's more civil unrest inside of the United States, and we had a major decision by the CDC and FDA on an issue that we've been warning you about. And of course, there's a lot of information surrounding this news that there's not a lot of important context on that we're going to be providing in this video. And just jumping right into it, yes, of course, there's more civil unrest inside of the United States, specifically in Minneapolis, where police officers says she accidentally shot and killed someone when she thought she was using a taser. This has sparked more violence in response to this. There have been lootings, there have been protests, there also have been multiple gunshots during these events that are only going to be unfolding and expanding from here all across the United States, especially during the summer. And as all of this is happening, the mainstream media is trying to obfuscate some of these events, with even some reporters demanding that police officers don't classify these events as riots when they are riots.
Yeah, just so everybody's clear, I was front and center at the protest, at the riot. We did not.
It was a riot. Don't do that.
There was no riot.
There was. So the officers that were putting themselves in harm's way were being pelted with frozen cans of pop. They were being pelted with concrete blocks.
Now, it's also important to note here that big tech, along with the mainstream media, have been running with these narratives as well, as perfectly exemplified of what happens when you Google riots today comparatively to when you DuckDuckGo them on independent search engines, and the results surely do show you a clear agenda that's being pushed forward. Now, with this particular event, of course, it's a very divisive one. Many people who are on one particular side have already made up their mind. The people who are on another have already made up their mind. But again, it's important to note here, people aren't even looking at the facts and the details of this case, and they should. Some people will always support the police no matter what. Some people will always support the protesters no matter what. And in reality, the truth is somewhere down the middle. Looking into this particular case, it's filled with a lot of details. It's filled with a lot of emotions, as well as that's convoluting a lot of people's viewpoints on this. I think this was a tragedy that should be avoided at all costs in the future. And the policewoman involved in this event made a very big mistake that she should face the full ramifications for the consequences of her actions. Now, does this single act of violence by the state justify other acts of violence? No, definitely not. All acts of violence should be called out no matter what, since, you know, that's common sense, and we don't live in a common sense reality. As perfectly exemplified by this latest geopolitical splat that we here as independent media have been telling you to keep an eye on, that we've been telling you weeks, if not months ago, to keep an eye on this situation because it will get worse from here. It has, and it's only going to deteriorate further from here, as of course the military-industrial complex, along with some elements of the mainstream media, are very eager to sell more weapons. Ukraine, of course, wants to buy them. The United States is sending their military hardware and troops into the Ukrainian region. Russia, of course, is doing the same. Russia is now issuing a warning to the United States that its warship better stay away from Crimea for, quote, their own good, as of course the United States is still moving with their mobilization of their military forces, of course, near Crimea. Russia is accusing the United States of turning the region into, quote, a powder keg. NATO is, of course, standing with Ukraine. The U.S. government is, of course, saber-rattling back against Russia, saying that they will act firmly in defense of Ukraine. And this entire situation is a mess, with Russia calling the U.S. an adversary. And, man, the situation doesn't look good. I think I will do a full geopolitical breakdown on tomorrow's video, highlighting some of the important history and context regarding this issue. If this is something you're interested in, let me know down in the comment section below. We always aim to do the best job we can for you here as independent media. Independent critical media that is becoming more and more censored by the day, as even Twitter recently blocked my friend Jason Whitlock for reporting the BLM founder buying a $1.4 million home in a predominantly white neighborhood. My My friend, Stand Up 911, also had his Instagram page taken down. And now, according to some of the terms and services, you can't even have Mobb Deep videos on Instagram. As of course, Prodigy, also someone that I was close with, he definitely spoke his mind, but to censor his music videos, I mean, is just, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous. And that's why your support is critically important on wearechange.org/donate. There's many ways you could contribute, whether it's cryptocurrency, Venmo, Cash App, ways without spending a dime, checking out some of our products, physical mail. Check it all out on wearechange.org. Also, when you're there, in the top right-hand corner, put in your email right now. Go to wearechange.org, click the link right now in the description. Just put it in your email right here. It costs you nothing, and that is one sure, definite way of making sure that no matter what happens, independent media stays alive and well. Also, in today's Luke Uncensored video, I'm going to be talking about and sharing a lot of information that is absolutely troubling surrounding an issue that we can't even fully discuss here on this independent media organization. Now, today, there is a major announcement by the CDC and FDA that all the mainstream media organizations are running with, including even CNN, as these government agencies released a joint statement asking to pause the use of the Johnson & Johnson shot. This, of course, after health concerns, and they specifically cite 6 cases of rare and severe blood clots that have happened to individuals that have just taken this Johnson & Johnson shot. It's important to note here that there have been no long-term studies with this Johnson & Johnson shot, and we have to ask ourselves what's really happening here with this major announcement that, of course, will have larger implications on society. And again, we're getting reports that AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson shot are causing rare blood clotting. There have been a lot of reports that I've been talking about on LukeUncensored.com, but the news that the federal government is stopping the use of this shot immediately should definitely raise some very serious questions. Now, again, the official story here that this is all surrounding 6 cases, and as you know, there's been a lot of reports of complications, severe side effects, blood clotting, and other ailments that people have been going through after taking this and other shots. Now, these federal government agencies are only talking about 6 reported cases, and the mainstream media is reminding people that 6.8 million people have already been given this shot. Some people, like blue check-marked individuals, are saying that they're happy that they got this shot before it was banned by the federal government, because according to them, it's a 1 in a million chance of blood clotting, which they say is more dangerous than getting the sickness that this shot is for. And if you go by the official numbers, sure, that's true, but 1, she should look at the survival rate of this sickness in the first place, and 2, we have to legitimately ask ourselves, is it 6 people like they officially say, or is there something else happening here that they don't want to panic people? Because at face value, this doesn't make sense. Is there something else here going on? And let's be honest here, these government agencies don't have the best record of telling the truth. The CDC was telling you not to wear masks, then they were telling you to wear a mask, then they were telling you to wear 2, then not to, then 2 again. A lot of the policies and protocols and procedures pushed by these federal agencies haven't always been the most transparent, or let's just say solid here. So this already, on that simple basis alone, is giving people a lot of skepticism here, which I think is absolutely warranted and granted. Now, doctors are warning people if they feel sudden pain, shortness of breath, severe headaches, abdominal pain, leg pains, or shortness of breath after taking any of these shots to, quote, seek medical treatment. This shot was, quote, fast-tracked by individuals like Donald Trump. It was rushed. There wasn't any long-term studies surrounding this, and it was approved by these federal agencies beforehand, along with, of course, the World Health Organization that approved this specific shot, which now is also going to be delayed in Europe and other places around the world. People who had appointments to take the Johnson & Johnson shot will now keep their appointments, according to the medical professionals here, and they will be given either a Moderna or Pfizer shot instead of the Johnson & Johnson shot. The White House says that this latest news won't ruin the goal of 200 million people getting the shot by April 30th. Already, a large population of the United States has received one of these shots, and along with some complications, along with accusations of these shots not being administered correctly, the reports of the side effects, we're also getting news that some people who have taken the shot are also getting the sickness that the shot is for, as reported by this story of an Alaskan woman who caught the sickness for a second time after being given the Johnson & Johnson shot. Now, we have seen reports of this happen sporadically all around the world. Medical professionals are saying that this chance of happening to the average person is, quote, relatively low, but yet again here, I can't stress this enough, we only have the preliminary data that should raise some questions, but shouldn't make people jump to conclusions. It's also important to note here that Donald Trump recently came out in a statement saying that the shot should be renamed the Trumpscene, as he, of course, is asking for more credit surrounding the shot that he rushed and pushed through emergency procedures to get these shots out there. He came out recently and accused the, quote, bureaucrats at the FDA of being in a league with their friends at Pfizer, since, of course, they approved the shot 2 days after the U.S. election. Donald Trump says that he does not agree with the federal government pausing of the distribution of this Johnson & Johnson shot. He described it as, quote, terrible, and said that this will permanently challenge the reputation of the shot. Now, again, lots of things are happening here. This situation is very fast-moving. I'm not a medical professional. I don't claim to know what's going on, but I think it's important to note here that I'm in the same boat as everyone else, including the mainstream media, that are choosing to run with narratives rather than ask important questions. Now, with this latest announcement by these federal agencies, we have to ask ourselves, is this happening because of this rare blood clot concern with 6 people? That's one theory. The second theory is that there's something else going on right now that the CDC and other federal agencies don't want to panic the public over, and there could be graver complications or problems ahead that they don't want to tell the American public about. Or 3, as Donald Trump kind of hinted at, is the FDA in bed with Pfizer trying to stomp out the competition, Johnson & Johnson, that of course is rising on their coattails. Now, these are 3 theories which I think are plausible here, but which one do you think is unfolding right now? Let me know down in the comment section below, as well as any other evidence you have to suggest that any of these theories are true. Again, I do not claim to know the truth. I can only do my best to pursue it. We're on YouTube, so of course the government is always telling the truth. The medical professionals are always telling the truth. High praise to Bill Gates, high praise to Dr. Fauci, high praise to the CDC and FDA that of course have no corporate ties to organizations like Monsanto previously before in history. Praise the government. They all know what's good for you and great. Hallelujah to the pharma industrial complex, because they never did anything wrong. Always believe the official story. The government never lies to you guys. Come on. Okay, so yeah, you got that, YouTube moderator? Okay, good. Now we're going to discuss other issues on LukeUncensored.com, where I'm going to go off about everything that I can't say here. Again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, amazing human beings, interacting with me, sharing this video with your friends and family members. That's one of the best things you could do. Even just random people. Send them this video. Someone messages you, you don't know, someone's spamming you, spam them back with this video. And because you guys do that, I am still here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.